Okay. Mushoku Tensei. I'm not gonna pretend I don't have some pre-existing thoughts about this series, and I'm not gonna pretend like many of those thoughts aren't negative. Everything I hear about the series is pretty damning. And the main argument people give about the main character developing and changing, and that being the whole point, kind of goes against part of what is bothering me. Because he may change, but from everything I've heard, he's never punished for the things he does. And that's a huge part of why ReZero works. And ReZero is one of my favorite works of fiction. In ReZero, Subaru makes aggressively bad mistakes, and he has to work to fix them and redeem himself in the eyes of others around him. From what I hear, this isn't really that. And I think the worst part of it is that people defend the main character by saying he ends up wanting to kill himself. As though that's redemption for doing shitty things. The best kind of redemptions are the ones where it's not the characters who hate the character getting redeemed, it's the audience who hates the character getting redeemed. Because that takes actual effort as a writer. Endeavor and Bakugo from My Hero Academia are perfect examples. You hate them when they're introduced, absolutely despise them. By the end of season 6, you're rooting for them and want them to improve themselves. You want them to take those steps to get better. At the start, you don't even think they're capable of doing so. From what I've heard, this isn't a redemption story, it's a personal growth story. And from everything I've heard, it should also be a redemption story. A Silent Voice even acknowledges the concept of improving as a person without actually redeeming yourself for the actions you did. So, yes, I am going in with some major reservations. However, I also absolutely adore the story of ReZero, which has a lead character who does a lot of stupid shit that's incredibly frustrating. And I love his character because of those things. So if I am proven wrong about how I feel about the main character, I want to be. I'll say that. I want to be proven wrong. I want the writer to prove that this isn't just pedo bait. Because at its best, the things I've heard about this imply the idolization of grooming children. That doesn't leave a ton of room for me to have high expectations for this, regardless of what I've heard about the world and the setting, because I've heard those are good. I think I've talked for enough time. Everyone already knows the issues certain people have with this show and the issues certain people have with certain people who watch this show, so I don't think I need to explain any further. So let's begin.
Now what the hell is he doing? I'm seriously injured over here. But she's
Do you
gorgeous.
feel injured?
European? Either way, if she's just gonna leave herself open like that... Wait.
Really? If she's just gonna leave herself open like that. Wow. Okay. Holy mother of God.
Who'd have guessed something that ridiculous could happen in real life?
He's fully cognizant and is picking his boogers.
I guess I'd say they're in their mid-20s. Didn't turn me on, though. Maybe because she's my mom?
I'm suddenly reminded of Oshinoko.
Hey, where are you?
Jesus Christ.
What is he doing?
This is her first time seeing this in 6
crap.
months.
Let this divine power be rich and nourishing.
Come on, are you
Offering
kidding
those
me?
whose strength has been
Either this
lost,
is this country's version of
strength to
kissing a
rise again.
boo-boo, or both of my parents are role-playing nerds and the fighter married the cleric.
Okay, I'm sorry. Given this dude's story, there is no way in hell he's never heard of an isekai. Like, no way in any level of hell. I would say it is more likely that Attack on Titan's events happened in our history than it is that this guy has never fucking heard of an isekai, much less regularly watches them. Come on. Come on.
This isn't Europe, is it?
No shit. It took you 6 months to put
World
that
of
together.
swords and sorcery.
Why do you sound disappointed? Been watching Freerun, so I expected it to be a mimic.
There are only 5 books in the house. Hard to wrap my brain around since I used to have almost 1,000. They were all light novels, but still.
He owned 1,000 light novels and has never heard of an isekai? I'm reminded of Fate's Magic Circuits. Wouldn't be surprised if it took inspiration from it. It's a pretty big series. Well done.
First you call forth the element, set the size, then set the speed. And when you release it, off it goes. I guess this is where incantations might come in handy.
Okay. I'm gonna forget so much of this. I feel like I'm playing a Xenoblade game. This is so much information so quickly. That's a bit much. Is that gonna stop? Okay, it just kind of exploded.
Now, sweetheart, you didn't happen to read some of this out loud, did you?
Whoa, lady, you're freaking me out. Please don't look at me like that. Did I screw up?
Please look at me like
Does
that.
this world have witch trials for kids who use magic or something? I don't want to get burned at the stake.
My name's Roxy McGurdia.
I missed what that name was. Okay, I
What the
think it was
hell?
Roxy
Forget a beard.
something.
She doesn't look like she can grow hair anywhere. My great teacher is a socially awkward lolly with resting bitch face. She's perfect. I'd totally marry her.
That was a large amount of things being said.
I wasn't even talking about her chest.
Jesus Christ.
Generally speaking, there are only 3 different types of magic. Those are attack, healing, and summoning magic. Spells
How
and
much
abilities
exposition
cast
can you
are
dump in
different.
one episode? Space the shit out!
Those are attack, healing, and summoning magic. Spells and the mages who cast them are divided into 7 ranks.
No support
Elementary,
magic?
Intermediate, advanced, saint, king, emperor, and god. To use any kind of spell,
That's
you
so
need to
many
tap into
ranks.
magical power.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
All right, now you try it.
Where's that frame? It's one of the main
So,
things I know
Roxy
from
and
the
the
show.
magic manual both think you have to use incantations to cast.
Let the vast and blessed protection of water converge where thou seekest.
Care to explain yourself? It looks like this kid will be worth training after all.
Okay, Zadia.
I'm sorry you got yelled at, miss. That was all my fault.
Damn it.
Couldn't
I
she
haven't
just
had a
heal the
real
tree again?
conversation in almost 20 years. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do now.
Have you not talked to your parents
Done
one
this
time?
1,000 times. Now, what would a dating sim protagonist do in
Yeah,
this situation?
okay. Mm-hmm. That's another friend that I know.
I'll prove that even a jobless, reclusive bum like me won't waste a second chance. To get serious about living.
Huh. Does this show not have openings? What the fuck? This show doesn't have openings. Huh. Oh, okay. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna listen to that song then. Huh. Okay. Odd. That was a lot of information very, very quickly. I followed some of it, and hopefully it'll become more clear as we go through the show more. I don't really know if I can criticize the penny shot, given that Monogatari is one of my favorite shows of all time. And, you know, starts with a penny shot. At least that show has the benefit of being from a biased narrator. This may be narrated, but it's not. The story as a whole isn't told from their point of view. It's just a story that's focused on them, with them narrating their thoughts on what's happening. I didn't get her last name at all, but I think it was Roxy as the teacher. Ah, okay. More of his past life. And he's jacking it. Okay. At least it's not a comatose girl. What the hell? What the fuck?
What the hell did I do to deserve this?
Would you give it a rest?
Roxy's in the throes of adolescence. As
Oh.
long as she didn't see me, I'm classy enough to pretend I didn't see her. It's been 6 months since
Interesting.
Roxy got here. But don't worry, there's no sexy time involved. I've been a perfect gentleman.
Magic manifested thousands of years
Yeah,
ago
there you go.
to
Right-
defend themselves
right
from
away.
threats.
Honestly, I'd prefer sexy time. History
Yeah,
was
no
never my
shit.
thing.
And I'm a demon myself, actually.
Whoa, that's
Oh.
awesome! Are you really?
400 years ago, they led a killing spree during the La Place War. After destroying their enemies in battle, they'd immediately turn on their allies, then slaughter the women and children left defenseless back at camp. After the war ended, they were driven from the demon continent entirely, considered too dangerous to coexist with.
Okay. I need to put a hard pause on this because, well, a lot of this lore is interesting. This is the clunkiest fucking exposition in history. And there's so much of it. I get having a complex world you want to introduce a lot of things in. But you space this shit out. Partly because it's fucking boring when you do it all at once. It makes it feel like there's no direction in the story if it's all you're doing. It's completely overwhelming. There's a reason classes in schools do not last the entire day. There is a reason you get breaks. There is a reason you take weekends off. It's because you're not designed to put all your information into your head in one go. This is a lot of information to give, like, over such a short period, so quickly. Especially if I'm supposed to remember all of this. Generally, you do exposition by introducing the concept, then developing it later. This is doing it by introducing the concept, immediately developing it. Introducing the concept, immediately developing it. Introducing the concept, immediately developing it. It's exhausting. If you are supposed to be remembering all this and they won't give you reminders and more explanation later, what the hell? If they give you more details and explanation later, what the hell? I'm somewhat reminded of Made in Abyss, where they go as fast as they can through some of the early stuff until they get to the lower levels where they can finally make it violent and bring out the shocking twist that it's a dark story, not all kid-friendly, even though it was never kid-friendly. This reminds me of that, where it feels like they're going through it so they can get to something they care about. Unfortunately, all that going through it is back-to-back info dumps, which are exhausting and a lot to process. Okay. Gonna rewind it a bit.
How come? You didn't know about demons, so I take it you've never heard of a race called the Superd.
I haven't.
I think that's a very clear indication of the issues here. She discusses her hair, which is purple. And then, because he doesn't know the significance of that, she goes into a tangent that for 30 seconds at minimum has been completely unrelated to the fact that her hair is purple, discussing a race of beings that have green hair who are doing evil things, completely irrelevant to what she was talking about. Are you understanding the problem here?
They're a green-haired race from the Babanos region. 400 years ago, they led a killing spree during the La Place War. After
And that's a lot of
destroying their enemies in
proper
battle,
names to
they'd
drop
immediately
right there.
turn on their allies, so don't you dare go anywhere near them.
If I do get too close, will they kill me?
They might follow you home and kill your whole family.
Didn't she just say they were, like, exiled? When would he run into one? Especially in a backwater country village.
My hair can look green in the wrong light, and people tend to think the worst.
Well,
Huh?
I think your hair is real pretty, miss.
Under what lighting does purple look green? Hey Siri, can purple look green under certain lighting? Not seeing anything about that.
Maybe, but I like you right now, miss.
I see. Well, if you still feel that way 10 years from now, feel free to say that again.
I don't know which is creepier here. Okay, that's an increase in magic ability.
Swoosh and slash.
I'm still only 4. My body's not conditioned yet. I have a long way to go.
He
but I got
says after
this.
making a bomb in the air. She said you had to use incantations. What?
What are you doing over there? You feeling okay?
Yeah.
In what universe does that happen? The majority of bullying is tolerated in schools because it's something that can technically be dismissed as something the teachers didn't see. There is no way in hell that goes unseen. And no way in hell it wouldn't damage the reputation of the school. There is no way in hell that happens. You want me to feel sympathy for someone, make their story believable. And don't make me feel sympathy while also showing how disgusting they are. You'll notice with a redemption arc like Endeavor's, he starts out awful. Then later on, we don't get the flashbacks of him beating up Shoto and his mother, and we just see him trying to grow and change as a person. If you intercut that with him beating up Shoto, it kind of undermines it. Especially when that intercut is done to show that he is disgusting and awful, and not as a flashback the character is having while remembering their awful deeds and trying to change from them. That's a different thing. What this is doing is having a dude creep on women while trying to say that he wasn't that bad of a guy. And also, apparently, he missed a funeral to have a wank. I don't feel a lot of sympathy for you there, bud.
The climate was so harsh that not even grass would grow.
Okay, so we're not explaining how she did that without incantation? When he said he did it without any incantation, she kind of freaked out. But then she did it. Am I missing something? Does the staff do the incantation for her? Well, obviously not, given the fact that she used the incantation in the staff the first time she used magic. So, what's the deal?
Well, Rudy, from us to you, happy 5th birthday.
Thank you all so much.
You could have coordinated that better, people.
How long has it been since anyone cared about my birthday?
You learned 4 types of advanced attack magic before you turned 5. You've earned the
Jeez.
right to be a little arrogant, you know.
No way.
He is.
I only got here because you taught me so well.
Regret? Despair? I remember it like it was yesterday. When I was depressed or angry, I had a few go-to fantasies.
It's such an
Good luck,
unbelievable
Rudy.
thing.
We love you.
Like, genuinely. Has anyone in the world within the past 20 years experienced the thing that he was showing, that he was remembering there? anyone at all experience that in school? How about this? Has anyone ever been stripped completely in school and had nothing happen? No teachers coming in to disperse everyone and fix the issue. No letters of apology students were forced to give. No expulsions for other people. No suspensions for other people. Like, come on. If you want sympathy, make it believable. If those were his parents who went into his room that day, I absolutely buy that. If he skipped an important funeral to have a wank and his parents saw that he was jacking it to porn on a computer, then yeah, I would absolutely believe they would destroy the computer and kick him out of the house, at that age especially. I also would have sympathy for him there. That's rough to have your parents do that to you. Do I understand them as well? Yes, absolutely. But I actually believe that scenario. Regardless of whether the blame lies on him for that or not, I believe the scenario, and therefore it makes me feel more sympathy towards him. I don't believe that fucking school scenario where he gets fucking stripped down and mocked for his dick. Like, a dick pic circles around his school somehow, sure, I'd buy that. People strip him down, pin him to the school gates, and yell limp dick. No, that does not happen. I get this is a fantasy story and he got isekai'd and now it has the magic powers and is looking at panties and lollies. And all that's unrealistic too. But that feels more grounded in realism than the flashbacks. And that's the stuff that's supposed to be in the real world on Earth. If you want to make a character tolerable, you gotta have a solid balance of, man, this guy's a piece of shit, and damn, that sucks. You gotta have those in pretty equal balance, and preferably, well, that sucks should dominate that scale. But if the well, that sucks is done through something that doesn't garner sympathy, it's just, man, this guy's disgusting. It's hard to buy the trauma when I don't buy the reason for the trauma. But I get why he would want to stay inside his house after an event like that. I just don't believe an event like that would happen. Anyway, I've been recording for 1 hour and I have gone through 40 minutes of the episodes themselves. So clearly I got some thoughts on this one. If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest step I've ever taken from home.
Are we doing this away from town because it's a secret spell?
No.
It's
We're here
dangerous.
to make sure we don't hurt anyone or damage crops.
I have quite liked the animation and music so far. You still need the
Earth
incantation? Or?
Fortress.
Well, now you can't see it.
My final exam, which I suppose marks the end of my home tutoring.
Yep, no more staring at a lolly's panties. How do you memorize all that in one go?
I know Roxy. She'll say something like,
How far away from town did I go?
In 2 years, you learned what took me a lifetime to perfect, so I've nothing left to teach.
I mean, how long is your lifetime?
Congratulations. You're a Saint Class water mage.
Jeez, that was fast. Part of me wonders if this should have been an isekai to begin with.
as long as I live, I'm gonna respect that girl.
Curious how he views respect.
I still have a pair of her panties that I stole
my
a few
God.
months ago. My bad, Roxy.
Is this the actual ending, or is it something else? Yeah, the studio that did this was a branch off of White Fox, right? Wish they put this kind of animation work into that. Season 2 could have used it. That was a lot of time spent on 2 episodes.